Welcome to Venezuela, a beautiful country in South America that happens to sit on top of the largest oil reserves in the entire world. We're talking 300 billion barrels of that sweet, sticky black stuff. So, naturally, you'd think Venezuela would be swimming in money, building gold-plated swimming pools, and buying everyone a pony. But no. Under the leadership of Nicolás Maduro, the country had undergone a catastrophic economic collapse. Since taking power in 2013, Maduro's rule had been marked by hyperinflation, food shortages, and authoritarian crackdowns. And the United States, well, they weren't fans. President Obama, Trump, and Biden had all slapped sanctions on the regime, hoping to squeeze Maduro out. But the guy stuck to power like gum on a shoe. Then came the 2024 election. Observers called it a sham. The opposition produced receipts showing that their guy, Edmundo Gonzalez, had won in a massive landslide. But Maduro said, "Nuh-uh, I won," and forced Gonzalez to flee to Spain. By January 2025, the US officially recognized Gonzalez as the winner, and relations went from "it's complicated" to divorced and throwing plates. But things really started heating up when the Trump administration returned to the White House. They looked at Venezuela's oil map and said, "Hey, remember when you guys nationalized all those US assets back in the day? Well, we feel like you owe us, big time." The administration initiated a maritime blockade to stop Venezuelan crude from leaving the country, with the explicit goal of seizing the oil and selling it for US revenue. But you can't just blockade a country and take their lunch money without a good reason. So, the US leaned hard into the narco-state angle. Back in 2020, the US had already indicted Maduro on drug trafficking charges. Now, in 2025, they kicked it up a notch. They designated the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua and the shadowy Cartel of the Suns as foreign terrorist organizations. The US claimed Maduro was actually the leader of this cartel. Now, experts said, it's more of a loose corruption network than a cartel. But the White House said, potato, potato, we're authorizing airstrikes. Behind the scenes, things were getting sweaty in Caracas. Some of Maduro's top officials, including his own vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, saw the writing on the wall. Or rather, they saw the giant aircraft carrier parked outside their window. So they decided to slide into America's DMs with a little proposition.
Hey, America, it's Delcy. Look, things are getting pretty tense, huh? So here's a crazy thought. What if, hypothetically, we sent Maduro on a permanent vacation?
You mean exile?
Yeah. We pack him a bag, maybe a nice tropical shirt, and send him to, I don't know, Turkey? He loves kebabs. And in exchange, the rest of us could stay in power and you leave us alone. Deal?
Let me think about that. No!
Oh, come on. We'll throw in a coupon for 5% off an arepa.
We want the oil, Delcy, and we want the whole regime gone.
Well, that didn't work. Should we tell Maduro?
And get tortured? Nah, let's just tell him the Americans called to say he has a nice smile. While the Venezuelan leadership was trying to save their own skins, the US was busy setting the stage. They needed a place to park their planes, and they looked right next door to the twin island nation of Trinidad and Tobago. Knock, knock! Who is there? Freedom! Freedom who? Freedom to use your airport to launch a massive military assault on your neighbor! I don't know, man. That sounds kind of dangerous. Venezuela is right there. Did I mention we're the United States? And that we brought snacks? Is that Cool Ranch? You son of a gun, I'm in. With the pieces in place, the noose was tightening. But Maduro, he wasn't worried. In fact, he was feeling pretty good about himself.
Look at them, Jorge. The Americans are just sitting there. They haven't attacked yet. You know what that means?
They're just carefully planning a complex special operation?
No! It means they're scared. They are trembling before my mustache. They know that if they attack, I will unleash the fury of 1,000 suns. I am the Iron Fist. I am the Tiger of the South.
Meanwhile, in the Oval Office, Mr. President, Maduro's on TV again. He's calling you an imperialistic tangerine and says you don't have the guts to strike.
He said, what? Nobody calls me a tangerine. I'm more of a sophisticated apricot. Does he know about the F-22s?
Not yet, sir.
And did we tell Congress we're doing this?
No.
Perfect. I love surprises. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be beautiful.
Launch the operation?
You're fired. Just kidding. Launch the missiles. But if you miss, you're fired.